had a bunch of sewing projects to do, and a quick deviation from all the bags I'm making. I have shorts and I wear suspenders with them, and the only suspenders I wear that work are a brand called HoldUp, and they have in the clip a metal pin to guarantee that they won't let go of your whatever they're holding up for you, your shorts or whatnot. But as you can see, that metal pin wears a hole in the waistband where it clips on, and also the all metal construction of the rest of the clip. There's an edge that when you clip on, if you're not, there's an edge that when you clip on can cut into the top edge of the waistband. So I have on this pair of shorts, there's a matching hole on each side where I clip, and a matching cut from the way the top of the suspender clip wears on the top of the band. So I'm going to reinforce this area, and I tend to use, because this is going to be at my waist, I tend to use something relatively colorful. Like I'm just going to use this rainbow thread that I'm already doing, so that the patch is going to be visible, but hopefully doing it neatly means that the visibility will not particularly matter. But in order to do that, I'm going to use this scrap of fabric. I'm going to put it on the inside, and the fabric scrap won't be visible, but if I had an iron out, a quick iron on this would be handy, but I'm folding it 4 ways and tucking all of the edges to the inside, so it's 2 folds out here and 1 fold on this side, and need to pick a nice centered spot over the patch area. Pin this in place real quick and check it. You can see there's a seam here on the side of the shorts that I'm patching, so I'm going to try and line this patch up with that side seam on the center so that it will be even across that seam, all the visible stitching. And let's see now. We'll take and give a small fold at the seam and check. Yep, and that's pretty even there if we fold on the seam, so that's centered. Because this is a lot of fabric, I actually am using my walking foot on my sewing machine, because that helps reduce the bunching as I work here. I have also gotten stretch fabric for those drawstring bag projects, and obviously a walking foot makes stretch fabric that much easier to deal with. But so first thing, I'm gonna tack this patch in place with just a straight stitch across the back, working from the back side so I can see what's going on. And because I'm sewing in a square, in the middle here I like to turn all the way backwards, and that way when I get to this fourth corner, I'm only turning like this instead of having to, if I keep turning in one direction, every time I turn, at the second turn I have to grab everything and stuff it through this hole, so that when I get to this third turn, I can do that. So, like I said, I just like to turn it backwards around the machine instead of having to stuff it through the hole. But I can demonstrate the hole stuff that I don't like to do when I make my second pass here. Alright, so straight stitch holds that in place. Still looks pretty centered. Now, my machine has this triple stitch zigzag, which I think is intended for stretch fabrics, but I've never successfully used it for that. I just use it as a, well, I'll show you how I use it, because it's a good way to get more of this patch stitched in. So you can see I'm working on the top side here. That way all my stitching will be straight in regards to the garment seams that I'm throwing this patch on. Because the patch, being just a random scrap of fabric, is, see, I like to turn the other way because I don't like having to make that stuff through the hole here. Yeah, by stitching from this side, I can use the garment seams to help line up my foot, and then all the patch seams will be straight. To the garment seams. Whereas if I was working on the back side and lining up with this patch, because the patch is just whatever I had and I folded it over without lining it up, it's got different margins around the stitches, and on this side the stitches are all square with the garment. So, and then wait, no. Then I switch from that triple stitch to a straight zigzag and make the square here. Oh, and apparently my needle was loose. And I bet, well, we'll have to check that. I don't know how my needle got loose. I probably knocked that knob. Alright. Did I bend the needle? Nope. The needle is still flat, although better safe than sorry. I do have extra needles, I just have to get one out of the box. If I was close to done sewing, I would just put that needle back in and finish, and then worry about replacing it next time. However, one universal needle later, and I used to be in the bad habit of putting my old needles back in the needle case and forgetting to mark them, but obviously that is alright, which way am I? Okay. If you put your old needle back in the new needle case to keep it from poking anybody, and then forget to mark it, then you end up sticking an old, possibly bent or broken needle back in the machine when you forget which one is which. And oh, I just had it. There we go. And obviously that's no good. Alright. New needle. And I just lost track of the old needle. Yep, I gently pushed it under the machine. Stick that on the edge of the pin keeper, because I have a magnetic pin keeper, and then we'll be good to go with that. So, alright. Again, lost that needle because it was loose in the clamp for whatever reason. I also made a big honkin' mess right there, so we'll clean that out of the way and start over. Because you can get, there we go. There. Now I'll try this again. Yeah, what is happening now? This is old thread I rescued, so I may have found a stretch of week old thread. But I'm also stitching pretty thick material, so could just be getting so thick that I'm getting I think it's getting too thick. Let me see if I can get there. Loosen the tension a bit so it's not yanking as hard to pull the thread back. There we go. Top edge of the waistband just had far too much material in it, and I was getting and did I just run out of bobbin thread? Yep, I just ran out of bobbin thread. Oh. Good thing I filled a batch of bobbins. All right. Alright, now you know what, I can just stitch this the other direction, can't I? There. There we go. There we go. So 4 more layers of fabric in that area, and a lot of stitching to keep it in place. And then of course this area is pretty flexible and that's pretty stiff now, so that'll make those suspenders hold real good. And I'll do the same thing on this side.